Thanks for tuning in to the Marvel Movie Minute.
Want to skip those pesky ads and get early access?
Become a member at truestory.fm/join and discover all the other great perks that come with it.
Welcome back to the Marvel Movie Minute, a weekly podcast where we disassemble a film from the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 5-minute segments and then examine them in obsessive and occasionally hilarious detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Craft and Chaos podcast.
I'm Pete Wright.
And I'm Matthew Falk from The Ethical Panda, Star Wars Universe podcast, Star Wars Generations podcast, Superhero Ethics podcast, a New York Mets fan, but most importantly tonight, because we have the chance to win our first championship in 27 years, a New York Knicks fan.
Oh my God. Coming in
Well,
hot.
Pete didn't want to introduce himself as
Sports
anything,
Matthew.
so I
Yeah. I'm just excited about the new God of War game they announced, but, you know, we all have our fandoms that we're excited about. They showed 20 minutes of gameplay. But anyways, back on to what we're here for. I like my spies Russian and my suplexes German as we examined minutes 81 through 85 of Captain America the Winter Soldier from 2014, directed by the Russo brothers. We rejoin this in mid-fight. Natasha has gone a bit Tarzan, Cap has caught a bus the hard way, and Sam's set to do maximum damage with a minimum knife.
Okay, my first question. Across
Yes.
the entire MCU, and I'm even suggesting movies that have not yet been made, is this set of minutes the most shieldy of Cap?
Yeah, it may be.
I think he uses
may
the
be, 'cause-
shield as a shield more in these minutes than in any other Captain America property.
Yeah, because I feel like in Civil War, it gets taken out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe the final fight in Civil War is very shieldy.
It may
But
be.
this may be the most shield, especially being used
As a shield.
proper,
That's
as
what I
opposed
mean.
to
Mostly
a
he's like
frisbee.
tossing it around, right?
Yeah.
Sliding on it. This, he's literally protecting himself as a shield. I took note of that.
I feel like in Civil War, like there's a lot of punches against it and a lot of
Yes.
Iron Man things.
Yeah.
But this is definitely the most bullets it has reflected. It does lead me to a question though, because again, I have not read the comics, and the comics. I imagine that Hydra and that these Hydra folks in Shield have their own certain technology, and so I'm wondering what is the counterbalancing fact? What is the bonus that these weapons that the people from Hydra are using that balances for the fact that you can't turn the barrel down?
I always thought that too. Like he got legs. Like
He had like the shield is not as big as his body.
Yeah.
And like I think it'd be cool to see him like constantly moving the shield around to like block the bullets. But no, they just keep firing in a straight
yeah, I mean
line.
that's the Wonder Woman effect. Like you see her, like deflecting with the bracelets
One
every
of
time.
you shoot high, one of you shoot
Yeah.
low.
This
The shield
shoot
can't
his
protect all
feet.
It
of it.
gets even more ridiculous as they start doing that with Winter Soldier, where he just uses his arm. And I was like, but that's not even most of you. Like, there's so much more of you than that. Like, I guess everyone's trained to go straight for headshots. But we do see in this, Cap does go full turtle. Like, he really puts himself all the way down.
So shieldy.
And does that such a video gaming move of like redirecting the bullets from one into the next guy. That was really good. I haven't
Outstanding.
seen that before.
I'm so glad they did that. And I think that probably came from the video game we talked about earlier in the season, which, again, is absolutely worth watching the YouTube walkthroughs and not playing it. But it looks just like this movie, and it looks just like this fight. It's really, really good.
Yeah, so we start out, Sam is in mid-action as the minute picks up, and cut the check? No, cut the strap off of the guy's gun as he then launches the guy off the side. So for those of you guys who know, you know. But yeah, then he then gets to, we sort of don't know where he goes after he does some stuff, and then he sort of disappears. So I do like then at that point, this is when the a car just explodes out of nowhere, and then you find out that that Bucky has a second grenade launcher. Like man loves his grenades. And this is one of those cool cinematic things where, like, as it explodes, then everything goes quiet. So it's almost like our ears have been blown out, and so everything is very muffled into. But I have a friend with tinnitus, and she hates when they do the when they play the little sound effect thing. So they don't do that here, which I think was a good move. But it's like everything quiet, and then the sound starts coming back up as we're recovering from this explosion.
You know what I do love in this moment as we recover from this explosion? There is a really great, very brief shot of Bucky walking into people dispersing. Right? Like this is not a cleared scene. And I think that adds a lot to the fact that this is still very intense. And the guns that they have are very large. And there are still people running about hither and yon. It is scary. Meanwhile, Bucky's walking toward Captain Last to Know.
Yeah. We hear then. Well, we think because they had split up already, so they had already decided sort of what their targets were. So the Winter Soldier's going after Natasha, the guy after the Black Widow, and so he then hears her voice off to the side and then starts heading in that direction. And then once again, Bucky, don't hurry. Like this is that same sort of like determinist, like straight on. He's just like the bullets are faster than me, so I don't need to run. Like very quickly going over there, and then figures out where she is, like hears her voice, and then takes out a little rolling grenade and then rolls on there. But we find out she's taken one of her widow gauntlets and has recorded herself calling for help and left it down there.
Now, tell me about this. So the thing that has a little screen on it, and that's what is that?
I believe that's one of her gauntlets. I think it's like one of the.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I thought it was like a weird shape for a phone. Or something.
Yeah, I think it's round because it's supposed to like go over her arms. I think it's like a we never really get to see them properly as she does it. So I think this is like she has two. So I think this is one of them, because. In the moment, as he's then distracted, as another car explodes, it's a bad day to be a minivan. She comes leaping out and then has the cord from the other, probably the same one she used to rappel down underneath the highway, and then has it wrapped around his neck. But he catches it, just in time to stop it. Which it would have been, once again, would have been a good move. Like once again, she's right there, like she's so close to taking this guy out, just like she shot him in the goggles before. Like any other human who didn't have the fast reaction time, she'd have had him. But like he's just fast enough to stop it, the wire from getting to his throat.
He is very strong, and she is diminutive, and he tosses her like a rag doll. And it's she hits that car hard. Heidi,
that's
Heidi
right.
Moneymaker.
Here comes the moneymaker.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Once again, like showing off why she gets why she is the queen of this stuff. Yeah, she did. That's a hard hit.
Yeah. Who was Bucky? We talk about the what's his name for Steve's Hargraves, right? We talk about Hargraves. We talk about Heidi Moneymaker.
Yep.
We don't talk about Bucky's.
James Young. That's
Young.
right. Because they like the two of them are gonna Sam Hargraves and James Young are gonna get into it here as minutes go by. Because we don't talk about him enough. This was his first Marvel thing, but then from then on he's not only Sebastian Stan, but it's still up to now, including current stuff. He also is a stunt coordinator for Marvel, so he's done a bunch of work there. But this was his first sort of major thing for them.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's great.
I think for me, one thing I love here, even though in the end it doesn't really work out, but is because there's always this sort of weird tension of you have these literal like demigods walking on Earth. You have Thor. You have Iron Man, you have Captain America. And then you've got Hawkeye and Natasha, who are like a guy who's good with a bow and arrow and a woman who's good with bracelets. And I love moments like this because they remind you why they're on the team. Because smarts will defeat strength most of the time. And she doesn't win, but she certainly gets an advantage for a moment, enough to like change the place of fighting and like get more of a, be able to fight more on her own terms. And it is one of my favorite scenes because it's just such a nice way of, as you said, Pete, he is just straight ahead. He hears the voice, he's going to go to it because he assumes that he's the smartest, he's going to win any fight. And that is generally a good assumption, but the idea of trickery is just not a part. Like, I think a lot of other people would be like, why is this person making noise when they know I can come find them? but it's a nice reminder for like Bucky. That's not. It is just straight ahead. I have an order, kill, follow the order.
Yeah, and like I say, she does it like gets pretty close, and then after he knocks her into there, then he's about to pull another weapon, is about to shoot her, and then she throws out the taser disc, which we have seen originally in Iron Man 2. So once again, coming back to that, and immediately throws it onto his metal arm and disables his metal arm.
Yeah, she gets a little EMP action.
Yeah, I think it was one of those throw and pray moments for her of like, man, I hope this works.
Yeah.
Like, will it actually disable the arm? And it does.
At this point, right, you start to hear mechanics in his arm, and that sort of soundscape for his arm, that tonal theme of electricity and machinery and gearing and servos and stuff. This sequence, that we have to highlight that, because especially in a couple minutes when that fight happens and you hear him wield the arm against Captain America, you'll hear it again, and it's extraordinary. And that starts right here as the arm is briefly debilitated. It's very cool.
I wanted to sort of shout out. We'll just say shout out to the entire sound department. I was going through, and their sound effects team is huge. So I don't know exactly who to thank, but I'll just say for all of them, they just incredible work. Because also, I love the sound effect of the bullets ricocheting off of Cap's shield into someone else, and how the tone changes as he moves. It sort of does this escalating thing up as he's moving.
Yes.
What a great sound effect that tells you exactly what that is. Like, in the history of the world, no one has ever fired a minigun at a vibranium shield and launched it at another person. But you listen to that and you go, yes, that's exactly what that would sound like.
Yeah.
It is perfect.
This is going to sound weird, but there's a moment where I was distinctly aware of the lack of a sound that I should have. And I think it's because how much the rest of the sounds were making sense, which is there's a moment where Bucky punches the shield, and now the shield has the physics that I think it's supposed to have, where no vibrations go through. And there's no sound. There's no like wrong, kind of like you just punch something against the gong. And you can clearly see Bucky surprised by that. And it's one of those, like, I don't think you even notice it unless you really slow it down the way we're doing. But you definitely have that, like, it is an incredibly clear moment. It's half a second in a fight, but he punches the shield. Nothing happens the way it should happen, and Bucky is definitely thrown by that. And I think the way that all the other sound happened, and yet there's no sound on that other than just the thud. It's
a good thud though too. There are a couple of layered effects in that very moment. The first one is we have a tight shot on Natasha, who's on the floor. She does not know where Winter Soldier is. Winter Soldier leaps up onto the hood of a car far, far out of field. He's behind her, and he knows where she is. And there's like a scream. It's like a Halloween scream. Yeah. As he hits that, when he comes down, it's Cap that jumps in the middle and holds the shield up. He comes down and hits that while the scream is still going. And it's like a church bell thong, right? Thong. And it is definitely not the sound that I would expect to come out of those two substances meeting, and yet it's the perfect sound. So, I mean, yeah, you talk about the sound team. This is a completely manufactured soundscape, and it sounds so good.
Yeah, and you're saying it's not a big Iron Man armor sort of sound. It's just a little bit of, you can hear the mechanics of it working.
Right.
So you also then, it tells us that it's not like an exoskeleton, like it's not something over, like
there's definitely something that inside.
Yes. Yeah. So that it is. So we definitely know that it is a entirely artificial limb, which is capable of punching the shield and not having every bone break, because there are no bones to break in that one.
I will just say, as an amputee who has dealt with prosthetics all of my life, while I would not expect this is not good representation of amputee prosthetic life. Like, there is nothing in the world about this that, and again, it's Hydra science, and that's great. And I would not want it to be. Like, I love the character of Echo in part because the actress is an amputee. Her prosthetic works the way a prosthetic does, and it makes sense. His shouldn't, and it doesn't. But just to be very clear, there is nothing like your friend who has really good insurance and the VA is totally helping them is still not getting anything like this. Because among other things, the amount of like nervous system this has to be hooked into to have all those moving parts be controlled is, we're working on it. We're getting a little bit closer, but no.
Man, though.
Yeah, and we did discuss this, in previous, but the reason that the Winter Soldier, the character design, has that is because famously in the panel where Bucky is killed, his left arm is caught in the bomb that Zemo has launched, and so that's why when he shows up, it's that. So that's why they sort of did. So when he shows up, you kind of make that connection of like, oh right, that's the last panel you see is him with his arm stuck in.
I mean, and it's a great way of showing that, like, this is a person whose body took incredible damage, who has been through some stuff, and also that this would be a part of, like, brainwashed assassin, brainwashed cyborg assassin, part metal, part monster, part man, part robot, part man, whatever. Totally makes sense.
I watched a video I found, which we'll put in the show notes, of a couple of MMA fighters who went through this fight, and then like from their perspective of like, oh, here's this punch, and they would stop it and go, okay, this is the kind of thing. So they would talk about the Superman punch. They talked about which is the way he launches himself in the air and sort of comes down. The punch, it's a big wrestling move. Or the flying knee. And so that was interesting to hear from their perspective of like, oh, here's what Cap is doing, and here's what Bucky is doing in terms of the strategy of the fight.
Oh, that's cool. So they move on.
Yeah, because we get to see the shield. Speaking of the shield, we see the shield change hands like we saw before. Like Bucky caught it and sort of dropped it. But now, look at that. Winter Soldier is now wielding the shield. Like, ooh, there's a little bit of like, that's a fanboy moment right there of like, oh, eventually he's going to be Captain America.
Right. And looks, menacing. He makes that sign of goodness look absolutely menacing. It's great. I can't get over that
Captain America peak.
Yeah.
I love when they do that. They hold the shield up and then like the little top of the head comes out and he does the exact same thing here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Well, and it's in the MCU especially, it's a nice sort of way to throw us because like if we stop and think about it, we know that the shield is not Mjolnir. It is a completely different thing. But this shield is to Cap as Mjolnir is to Thor. And we've now spent 2 movies plus the Avengers talking about how only Thor or only someone is worthy of Thor. Like we actually had a whole scene about who can pick up Thor, and then even Cap can make it move an inch, but he can't do anything beyond that. And so I think there is still like that is somewhere in the back of the lizard brain when you see Winter Soldier use it. Because you're like, no, he's not. Oh, no, wait, it is actually just a shield. Anyone can use it.
That's a really good point because you do have that feeling like there's something deeply wrong about this frame.
Yeah. And then immediately then uses that metal arm to launch it right back at Cap, and Cap barely gets out of the way, and you see it embed itself in the van behind him. And then we're down to it, just like time for some fisticuffs, but knife to see you. Bucky's got his World War II knife, and so we get to see this. Apparently, there's a bonus feature on the Blu-ray, and I think it's on Disney Plus as well, like a stunt thing about this, and they go more detailed into this. I also found the previs that I sent to the group too, where you can see them put that together. We'll have that in the show notes as well to check out. It's really good. I love those things. I wish they put more of those out to see what the stunt performer's original concept for the fight was, including editing, and then to sort of compare it to the final version, just to show like how much work they put into all of this. So it wasn't just like the Russos go, okay, I want you to no, they have a dedicated stunt team that goes, all right, then he would punch here, he would block there, he would do, and he would hold this. They have all this stuff. They call it the dance. Like all this is planned out so that nobody gets hurt, and it looks awesome. And so they said Sebastian Stan apparently was really good with that knife. Like all the stuff you see of him
flipping it around in his fingers,
he throws in the air and grabs it with the other hand. Yeah. All that's not CG. Like he really did all that. And they said he would walk around set and just be twirling the knife, spinning the knife, holding the knife. He was just like a knife prodigy.
It's extraordinary because he does that flip in the middle of swinging his fist the other way. Like it is incredibly complicated. That is just, I could watch it again and again and again. It's extraordinary.
Yeah, and it's so fast. Like the two of them, there's very few fight scenes between. Like in this one, we're going to have another big one coming up. But then after that, there really aren't any. And it's sort of like, I almost kind of miss it because they're so good at fighting each other, like just as two physical performers, James Young and Sam Hargreaves and Chris and Sebastian. Like, yeah, like it's that wrestling thing in me where I just like I want a rematch. I want to see it again.
It does make me wonder at what point, what kind of impact it would take me to get to the point where I could push a blade into the side of a van and then, like a can opener, slice down the entire side of a panel van with a knife. Like, what would that take? In terms of just raw, muscle and bone.
Even just the initial the stabbing through. Like, what does it take to stab a van?
How do you stab
That's
a van?
The question.
I mean, the fact that we didn't get a product placement on the knife makes me feel like there probably isn't a knife that can do that without breaking. Yeah. Because if there
They'd
was,
have monetized it.
There's a lot of products in this movie. Oh my God, would they want you to know that is that kind of knife?
Yeah, that's
true. Maybe they couldn't get a sponsor that would be willing to have, like Dunkin' Donuts and have the knife cut through it. They're like, oh, we don't think that's part of our brand portfolio.
I have a kid who's waking up from a nap pretty soon, so I'm going to need to go. So can I just jump ahead to the one moment I really wanted to talk about?
Sure.
The reveal of Bucky. And this was a moment that we've talked in the past about how Marvel is kind of teaching us how to watch franchise movies. And this is the moment that for me, and I've talked to a lot of people who had a similar feeling, told them that we're now at a point where if you're going to watch a Marvel movie, the fun thing to do and the helpful thing to do is to do your homework and watch the movies that came before it. Because I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, who's that? And my friend sitting next to me went, oh my God, that's Bucky. And it was because one of us had watched the movie 2 days before and one of us hadn't. And I remembered that. And that's a big part of why I started, okay, a new movie's coming out. Let me go and watch the other stuff. And it never felt like homework because it felt like these are fun movies to watch. But being able to because if you hadn't seen that first movie for 3 years, I don't think I'm alone in not recognizing that it's Bucky. But I think if you had, yes, we saw a little bit of him earlier.
Yeah,
but
the museum scene, I think, was supposed to remind us.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think it was just a nice way of like, yeah, you know what? Do some homework. Because it was in the museum scene as well. But I think I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone.
You're
definitely not alone. But I think it's safe to say by this point in the movie, you probably knew. Is that fair?
My memories of this scene really make, having an impact on me. So I think hadn't really put it all together
awesome.
yet.
I'm a little jealous, right? Like because I had just enough going into this movie that I knew kind of what we were in for and I was excited for it. So this reveal, my gut reaction was that, oh, finally Captain America gets to know what we all know already. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That he's the one who we get to take off the artifice and let's go ahead and let him, be shocked and go through the process of grieving his friend and then the absolute stunning awakening that his friend is alive. We've known it all along. It's time for Steve to get it.
And I should be clear also, I was very much a casual at this point. I had not watched trailers. I had not noticed that Sebastian Stan was in the credits and what does that mean? So I think that's kind of where I'm speaking from.
Yeah, I also.
Anyway, I gotta run because I got a baby, but
we'll write it out.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Theethicalpanda.com. Let's go, Nix.
I also like that it's minute 83 where this information is revealed. Like, so now we're all on the same page. So now it's like that is the turning point where now we're with the heroes, and we now know who the villains are. We're with the heroes. obviously things are looking dark for them too, but now we're all on the same page. And then that was the moment for me. I'm like, oh, okay, good. Now we got that out of the way. And that was sort of the lean forward moment for me of like, okay, what happens next? Like the point of it isn't that it's Bucky. It's like, now where does the story go?
Is this the first time we hear him speak? I think it is. He hasn't said anything yet.
We heard him speak in Russian.
But not, we haven't heard him
but this is the first
use
speak in English.
Stan voice.
Yes.
And he says, who's Bucky?
Yeah. Who the hell is Bucky?
Who the hell is Bucky? It's a good line. It's a good line for Bucky.
It is. Yeah. It's especially like this is once again, the whole thing. My Tumblr username should be Chris Evans Face, because like Chris Evans Face, man, like so much him absolutely floored. Like in the middle of combat, after like I sort of make the joke at the top, they body, and so like he does a full German suplex and like flips him backwards. And then during that process, the face mask comes off, and that's when it comes, and you can see him going like not in his any wildest dreams after seeing all the stuff that he's seen, and seeing a hole over New York and aliens pouring through. This is the thing that it's just like I don't know how do I go on from, like, everything changes for him, and the soundtrack does a great job of that too, of just like and then that's of course then Falcon comes swooping in at that point with a bit of a rough landing.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to take a digger right in the pavement. And
right.
He recovers, which is good.
Natasha found the grenade launcher, so then that comes in. And
Natasha,
then during
who
all
has
the
been
fracas,
shot at this point.
That's right. That's right. She's got a shoulder wound, so she has then got herself in position and fired. And once again, so close. Like it was just like if just a little bit off to the side, she'd have had him. And then during all this confusion and fracas, then Winter Soldier disappears. But oh, good, Shield is here. Oh, wait,
wrong Shield. Yeah,
wrong Shield.
Okay, so Rumlow leading the charge of his goons and actually showing a modicum of diplomacy.
Yeah,
as they take
because
down.
they right there. There's the target. And the whole point is to kill Cap, but he realizes that the world is watching. There is a newscopter above them, and realizes that maybe a Shield agent shooting Captain America in the head on live television is not the best for the plan.
Right. Right.
For Project Insight. And so, you're right, shows a bit of restraint.
Yeah.
Having been punched by Cap earlier that day, like you think you have a bit of a grudge.
He shows no welts. He shows no bruising. Yeah. He looks pretty good, Rumlow. And they take him down. And Cap, who I have to imagine, if we armchair Cap not having just met Bucky, he would not have gone quite so gracefully. This is a Cap who takes the knee because he is in a moment of shock.
Yeah, and I think the Natasha and Falcon kind of just follow his lead. So like they're sort of like, are we, because there's that movement of Sam sort of like, are we fighting our way out of this? Are we? And then sort of sees that Cap is just absolutely frozen and goes, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this a different way now. And then sort of like they all. Yeah, Natasha, I think all of them like, sure, like take us in, because like, ow.
Yeah. There is there's got to be a universe where there's a camera crew that's on Sam after he's on the bridge and just follows him to where he finds his little briefcase of the wingsuit and has to like put it all on. And
after he cuts the strap off the guy next to it, then it's just like running down the highway to like find the flipped over on fire car and like tear open the thing and like put on like I hope everything's going well down there. Okay, let me just all right, quick flight check, system check. All right, everything's looking good.
Yeah, I think that's the sometimes we get these little cutaways that I think would be really delightful, and that's one of them. At least we know exactly how long it takes Sam to find and put on his wingsuit. It's the length of this fight.
That's right. Yeah, it's right, exactly. From let's see, minute 80 is when we don't see him again And then here it is at minute 83. So it takes approximately
3 minutes. To sprint down
to go
the highway,
fly
find
up,
the
and
thing,
then
fly
land.
up. And go back. Yeah. All right. We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot
If we're
here.
assuming this is real time,
Right. So they take him in.
But yeah, it's like, whew. All right. So in minute 83, then the fight has sort of come to an end. Like, wow, that was like one of their signature set pieces in this. Like, we have come to the end of like this incredible fight, which like you sort of, when doing a show like this, when you have to step back and go, man, the amount of people you would have to do this, of like not only our principal actors, stunt performers, background performers, and then all the different camera, like somebody flying a helicopter. I mean, it's just like you can see how these big things get exponentially larger. Every single one of those shots is, how many an hour,
hundreds of people
just to like set up to, and then to over the course of 5 minutes or whatever the entire fight lasts.
It's quick. And the fact that we're just on top of, I mean, what was it, 15 minutes of movie time ago that we were in the elevator?
Right.
We're at the extraordinarily paced section of the movie, right? Things are moving. And this is major set piece after major set piece and more major set piece to come.
Right. Yeah. Because then our sort of the last minute of this is them in the Shield van. Like, they have been taken captive. Like, they're all just sitting there together. And then I think Cap is this would be the point where a lesser movie this would be an exposition dump. This would be like where he'd be like, well, let me take you back to the World's Fair, 1941 or whatever.
Right. We was eating corn dogs, I tell you, corn dogs.
And Bucky brought around these 2 dames.
Yep.
But all I wanted to do was, and so
we don't see they are captured. They are in some extraordinary handcuffs.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like they planned this.
You might think. And they're in the van, and we don't, it's a rather muscular van, but we don't see a lot of setup for this. We see that Cap is, his mouth is working, but he's generally non-functional with grief and uncertainty at this point, and will need to be shocked back into action.
That's right. And then, but he says the one word that we've been enjoying, Zola. And it was like, there you go. Once again, he's gone, but not forgotten. Like, he's like the Arnim Zola must have done something to him to bring Bucky back.
That's right. Beeps and boops, Bucky.
That's right. Because when they found him, they were doing some experiments on it. If you go back to watch that footage from the first Avenger, he's hooked up to some stuff. Like, when they rescue him, they were doing something. So like, they were sort of prepping him before the fall. Like, this is what happened. So they were already ready to do something to him. And this is the something. So now they have their own, Captain America on retainer that they can thaw out and send away. And now Cap has been reunited with his best friend, but not in the way that he would want.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. A lot of uncertainty to come.
A nice breathe out after a big battle.
Yeah.
Like,
everybody looks good. Everybody's fine. Natasha's fine, nursing her shoulder, and we cut away in the middle. We do not get a perfect Winter Soldier set. We cut away in the middle, but something's happening with the shadowy figures at the end of the cabin there.
That's right. Yeah, because they're being very tightly monitored. And so there are a couple of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in there with them to make sure nothing goes wrong. And I'm sure nothing in this this routine prisoner transport back to the Triskelion will be fine. It'll
totally
be smooth.
Routine.
Yeah.
Hey, can I change gears for a moment?
Absolutely. Yeah.
On a recent episode, as it aired, we have a comment going back a few weeks from about Atwell's cameo. This is from the good and kindly Steve J. Rogers in Discord, who says this: regarding Atwell's cameo, had a debate over what actually is an official cameo appearance in a franchise in a Godfather group on Facebook. So Steve is crossing the streams here.
I'll
Apparently,
say also, then let me further cross the stream. Look forward to a future episode on Make Me a Nerd about The Godfather. Look at that. Cross promotion
well done.
of True Story
That's synergy.
FM.
That's
right?
branding synergy.
That's right.
Apparently, says Steve, the sudden appearances by James Caan, Abe Vigoda, and Gianni Russo in the final flashback scene of Godfather 2 are not considered cameos, despite all three actors' characters dying in the first movie. I always assumed these cameos were unannounced quick appearances in a project. Is this not the case? What is your stance on using the word cameo for a case like Atwell?
That's a good question. I guess the first thought that comes to mind, and you can say if this works for you or not, is I consider cameo to be a one scene character. Like if someone shows up like Mel Gibson in Casper. or even Clint Eastwood, if we wanted to be less controversial, slightly. That I always do a cameo because it's like literally one shot, but it's one thing. Or like somebody shows up and then has I'd say Bronson Pinchot in Beverly Hills Cop. I don't know why I'm going back this far.
They
don't really do this as much anymore. But like if they're sort of self-contained, like one scene, that's what I sort of think of as a cameo. If they show up in multiple scenes, even if they're short scenes, I sort of consider that like more of a small role. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I have always considered Atwell in Winter Soldier as a cameo for exactly those reasons. The only thing I think that would maybe push me a little bit is the absolute investment that they put into this cameo to make it just an extraordinary visual effects treatment too. The fact that they have multiple actors playing this teeny tiny little scene to age her, and so I guess I've never seen anybody talk about a cameo as something that is somehow gauged against monetary investment to their participation. I've never even heard of that. But it does feel like it's something that is brief, it is emotionally isolated to a single sequence, and it is a little bit, maybe it's longer than what we might think of as a blink and you miss it kind of a cameo. Like, I don't know. Like
Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Rundown.
Okay.
Where he literally walks past Dwayne Johnson and says, "Have fun."
That's it.
Like,
or all of the cameos in Deadpool, the Deadpool versus Wolverine, right? There are all kinds of those.
Or Chris Evans in Free Guy. Like that was 100% a cameo. It's just like cut to, and there's, Chris Evans like sitting there and goes, "What the?"
For crying out loud, man. We have it right here. Stan Lee cameos in all of these movies. That's a cameo. That's a one-liner. If you don't know what you're looking for, you won't miss it. But if you do, it's lovely. That's what makes me think that Haley Atwell's performance could be pushed outside of cameo tolerances.
I would agree with that.
So
yeah, because if it had just been the World War II, like in the museum, like that, if it was just like the talking head, right, 100% cameo. But then they cut to her in the bed, and so it's her now, catching up to time. So that's where I sort of, this crosses over into, just a small role as opposed to what I think of as a cameo.
Yeah. That's what I think. I think maybe we're coming to terms with something, although I still think the world by and large considers Haley Atwell's performance a cameo. I think maybe it's not. I think it is it's heavy cameo. Maybe cameo needs modifiers. Cameo Ultra.
Maybe. Or maybe someone needs to figure out what is the mathematical formula for how long a person is on screen versus the running time of the movie to be considered, a cameo versus a small role.
Yeah, right. And I don't know if I would want to fight with those Godfather people.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to go into that territory.
I do not want to sleep with the fishes.
I know, will not sleep with the fishes. But it is interesting. I think I would be on the part that these aren't cameos, but now I'm not remembering their final scenes in Godfather 2 as clearly. So
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know
trying to
that I
think
can weigh
in
in.
this movie. Then, if that's our category, like what would be considered a cameo? I guess Danny Pudi coming up. I would say that's a cameo. That's one scene.
Doesn't he have multiple cutaways?
I guess we'll find out. I guess that's a reason to stay subscribed.
Haven't we
because,
already seen him?
No,
We
comes
didn't
later.
see him in the first.
No, I'm saying unless my memory is failing me, he comes during the Triskelion, the big fight, like Project Insight.
I thought he was in the control room when Pierce comes in and says, "We're after
No, I think
Captain
that's
America."
later. It is that control room, but it's later.
Okay, he wasn't there before. I'm misplacing it.
Or if not, we've just spawned a whole thread of comments that we'll talk about in the.
Right. So get ready. Thank you, Steve J. Rogers. That's a great place to comment in the Discord. You can get in there and just let us know. You can get into the Avengers Tower. You can comment in there are free channels for Avengers. If you become a member, you get access to the Triple Secret channel, and we'd love to have you there. There's also a button on the website now, and you can comment there. We would love to have your comments about this film and the show. Kyle, thanks for driving today.
Hey, I was happy to do it. These are some of my favorite minutes of the thing, so I'm happy to do it, and I love shouting out, the stunt performers, so I don't think get enough recognition. Now we're starting to, we're even, I would say, crossing the streams over to the Mandalorian. Like Pedro Pascal has been very clear about the fact that like he is not the only person who is the Mandalorian. There are two other people who are just as important to the role as he is. I love seeing that kind of stuff. I love seeing people so whatever we can do to sort of shout out to let those people know that we see their hard work and we appreciate it. In addition to all the other, and then the incredible sound team. I mean, like, this is why I like doing the show, is sort of to when you get that macro deep dive in to go like, okay, whoever did that, whoever slaved away quietly in a soundproof area with giant headphones on to try and get that broken right, your work was appreciated and necessary and noticed.
Yep, for sure. Thank you everybody for hanging out. But I got to say, Kyle is doing a mad run on Make Me a Nerd with Mandy Kaplan as yet another. We just released our fantastic Prince episode. That was episode 100.
Oh yeah. You and I got to talk about his Royal Badness.
That was super fun. Hundalicilia. And you've done Dr. Horrible coming up. You've got, what else?
That's right, Dr. Horrible Single Blog.
You keep being dragged back.
In the past. I do. She's wonderful to ask it, and we've gotten to the point now where she has crossed that level of nerddom where she's finding out about stuff and going, oh, what is that? Who can I talk to about that? And so this was a command to performance. She said, I want to know about Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, and so invited the amazing Chrissy Lenz and myself to come on to the show and talk about it, and they got to sort of dig deep into that fandom from way back when. I had forgotten. When I watched it, I knew every word of every song. I was like, oh, it's buried deep.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's amazing how quickly it comes back.
Exactly. So that'll be coming out pretty soon. So look out for that.
Links in the show notes, makemeanerd.com, marvelmovieminute.com. That's where you can find out more about this show. And
craftandchaos.fun.
Craftandchaos.fun. We're in a bit of a hiatus there, but that's another place you can go see us. Anyway, there's a whole universe of shows that we're a part of over at truestory.fm. And we would love to have you wherever you may land.
At what point do you think that they tuned out during all of the promotional stuff?
I don't know,
do you
man.
think it was?
I don't know. Nobody's here anymore. We can say whatever we want.
Okay. Captain America, overrated? No.
I'm leaving the show now, Kyle. I'm leaving I'm done. I'm officially done.
Well, in that case, enough said.